Sarawak sustainability blueprint. Food delivery rider dies in crash. And Malaysia is on the right track to economic revival. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Handy Gui and this is TVS Nightline. The Sarawak government will develop a blueprint for sustainability to guide all government agencies, businesses and communities in achieving its desired sustainable development goals. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the blueprint shows its responsibility in minding its resources.
Dalam konferensi ini dan saya berharap bahawa dengan input yang kita dapati dalam konferensi dapat menghasilkan pendekatan yang baru dan juga pendekatan yang sesuai dengan tuntutan dunia untuk kita mengimbangi pembangunan dan juga cara hidup kita yang harus berkisar kepada tuntutan alam sekeliling. The balance between nature as well as our survival. Saya oleh itu memberi sokongan kepada apa juga aktiviti yang boleh mengimbangi kedua-dua masalah yang dihadapi oleh dunia.
Abang Johari said Sarawak will also come up with master plans to build smart cities that consider environmental sustainability. He said the Kuching Smart City Master Plan has already been developed, with low carbon mobility and smart city infrastructure being considered for the state capital.
The blueprint will address concerns related to biodiversity conservation and natural resources management, as well as climate change mitigation and adaptation, and concurrently creating an enabling environment with modern infrastructure in tandem with modern Fourth Industrial Revolution 4.0. As such, Sarawak will also develop master plans for developing smart cities that will consider environmental sustainability related to urbanization.
He said the state's commitment can be seen in the creation of the Ministry of Energy and Environmental Sustainability, which was announced last December 30, together with his new cabinet. He said the ministry is to coordinate and provide directions to the development of green renewable energy and a pledge from the state to tackle world issues such as climate change and other biodiversity-related causes.
Sarawak's very own airline may take to the sky soon, as the decision for the state to set up its own flag carrier could be realized within 3 months. This matter was revealed by the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, who said discussions with Prime Minister Datuk Seri ISMAIL SABRI YAAKOB are already at the advanced stage.
Yes, I have discussed with the Prime Minister of our intention to have our own boutique airline, and we are still discussing between our EPU, Economic Planning Unit, and Hazana on our intention to have our own boutique airline that will enhance our tourism sector. At the moment, it's still under negotiation. We hope within 2 or 3 months. Nanti you salah quote nanti. Say lah 3 months lah. We reach a certain decision.
He said this during a network dinner with the Sarawak Business Federation (SBF) and National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Malaysia (NCCIM) on Monday. In November 2021, Abang Johari said the Sarawak government intends to establish an airline company to enhance air connectivity to Borneo. Operating in a small fleet, the airline is able to tailor the aircraft in addition to the passengers' experience and boosting the region's tourism sector.
On the other hand, the Premier of Sarawak said the government mulls expanding its autonomous rail transit ART network to Pontianak and the new capital of Indonesia, Nusantara.
Nusantara expected population is over 30 million in Nusantara. Expected population. Because you're moving out the whole lot from Jakarta to there. And it is very near to Kuching. So perhaps when we finish our ART, autonomous rail, autonomous rapid system, based on the one in Kongzao, then we can extend that to Pontianak, to the capital by land. I think the most is about 4 hours, I think, can reach kalau pakai rail.
Still on his official visit to Indonesia, Deputy Premier of Sarawak Datuk Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan on Monday paid a courtesy call to East Kalimantan Deputy Governor Bapak Hadi Mulyadi in Samarinda. Among others, the 4-eye meeting aims to strengthen bilateral relations between Malaysia and Indonesia.
The delegation was led by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Datuk Sri Dr. Maximus Ongkili, Sabah Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Dr. Joachim Gunsalam, and Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines East Asian Growth Area or BIMP EAGA Special Envoy Tan Sri Pandikar Amin Mulia. The Malaysian delegation was also briefed on investment opportunities in East Kalimantan for the Karyangau Bulu Minung Industrial Area in Teluk Balikpapan, the Service and Trade Industry Area in Kota Samarinda, and strategic areas on the border. Also, in the 1-hour briefing was a dialogue which discussed the opportunities that exist between the two countries and from the development of Indonesia's soon-to-be capital city, Nusantara.
Now, Sarawak has set its target of achieving at least 50 gold medals in the upcoming 20th edition of the Malaysian Games 2022 or SUKMA 2022, set to be held in Kuala Lumpur in September. According to the Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, Sarawak strive to be the overall champion if the contingent is able to achieve the target.
Kalau kita dapat 50 ataupun 55 emas, boleh dikatakan boleh jadi champion lah. Jadi kita pun lebih kurang target macam itu juga. Tapi the actual number of gold yang kita akan umum, kita punya target, hanya kita akan dapat umumkan as we get nearer to the date.
Karim said the 2022 SUKMA in Kuala Lumpur will host 31 sporting events from September 29 to October 8. He added that Sarawak will be sending over 1,000 individuals to the Games, comprising of athletes, coaches, and sports officers. Of the total, around 700 to 800 athletes will be representing the state in various sports events.
A food delivery rider was killed after his machine skidded and hit the road divider and a lamppost along Jalan Semariang on Tuesday. Sarawak Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Alexan Naga Chabu said the 20-year-old victim died at the scene in the 11:35 a.m. incident.
Alexan said the victim was making his way to the city from Semariang, which was then believed to have skidded and hit the road divider, with the impact flinging him and the motorcycle to a nearby lamppost. The deceased, identified as Yohanis Abdullah Anorfan, suffered severe head injuries and was pronounced dead at scene. The body was sent to the forensic unit at the Sarawak General Hospital for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987. Based on the information gathered, this is the fourth fatal incident involving food delivery riders in the past 2 years, with the previous accident took place in Kota Semarahan in November last year.
Now, the Sungai Baji Agro Farm in Sarawak will become an iconic model for all upcoming modern agriculture farms in Sarawak once completed. Not only will it become a place for agro productions, but also a research and educational center, cultivating innovation in positioning products to penetrate the global market, while creating more interest amongst youth in the industry.
Yang ketiga, ini fertigation is not about planting on the soil. Dia sudah memang buat greenhouse dan sebagainya. Cuma kita memerlukan infrastruktur yang sempurna. Piping, api, air, telekomunikasi mesti sempurna. Itulah sebab ini boleh menjadikan bukan saja bertanam untuk menghasilkan tanaman dan wang ringgit, tapi sebagai ecotourism.
Rundi spoke to the press after a site visit at the Sungai Baji Agro Farm in Serikay. The program was organized by the Land Custody and Development Authority, LCDA, in collaboration with the Sarawak Agriculture Department and Serikay Residence Office.
Anybody who wants to learn about fertigation, they can come here. So it is, the moment you reach Pasar Serikay, sudah sampai sana sudah. So all we need is to create an image. We don't want to be seen that we are not slow in doing things. We must be also developing well, and people will learn from that. I want to create an icon of Sungai Baji, of fertigation.
The Sungai Baji Agro Farm consists of 127 hectares of land located 5.2 kilometers from Serikay town. The program will generate income for the locals, especially farmers, through the Smart Farming Initiative.
Welcome back. Now, there is a constant call for blood donation, although the current Sarawak General Hospital blood bank supply is at a safe level. Head of Transfusion and Blood Bank Services Department, Hospital Umum Sarawak, Dr. Muhammad Masrin Muhammad Zaharin said supplies were sufficient even prior to the COVID-19 pandemic.
According to Dr. Masrin, 1 pint of red blood cell shelf life can be stored under refrigeration for a maximum of 42 days. In this regard, he urged the public to continue donating blood once in 3 months to replenish and ensure sufficient supply at the blood bank.
Okey, satu beg darah macam hari ini bila kita balik ke makmal, kita proses kepada 3 komponen, iaitu sel darah merah. Sel darah merah ini bertahan selama 35 hingga 42 hari. Komponen yang kedua dinamakan platelet. Platelet ini untuk kegunaan pendarahan untuk leukemia, di mana platelet ni untuk kita stop pendarahan lah. So jadi dia paling singkat, iaitu 5 hari. 5 hari. Dan yang komponen yang ketiga adalah plasma. Plasma yang ini bertahan untuk 1 tahun hingga 2 tahun.
Dr. Masrin further stressed that adequate blood supply is very important to treat patients such as accident victims, pregnant women with bleeding complications, premature babies, cancer, and thalassemia patients, as well as patients who are undergoing surgery. Aside from using social media as a medium to disseminate information on the importance of blood donation, he said the department also maintained a strong rapport with regular blood donors and organizers of blood donation campaigns. Meanwhile, in conjunction with the 215 Police Day celebration, a total of 150 police officers participated in the blood donation campaign held at Farleigh Mall on Tuesday.
Dan kita telah menganjurkan program derma darah di Mall Farleigh ini. Derma ini amat perlu program ini sebab kita nak membantu golongan-golongan yang memerlukan, termasuk yang memerlukan darah lah. So nampaknya pagi ini program ini amat berjaya dengan kehadiran pegawai dan anggota polis, juga orang awam. Kita berharap sehingga ke petang ini jumlah penerima banyaklah.
Successful donors will bring home a pack of rice, meal coupons, white sugar, and mineral water as tokens of appreciation.
Muhammad Azlan Jong bin Muhammad Ali Jong may have retired from the army, but he continues to serve the country as a blood donor. Today he celebrates his 110th blood donation, the culmination of donating for over 30 years and helping countless patients in need.
Having started his incredible milestone in 1993 in helping patients in need, several years passed. A friend of his was involved in a car accident in Kuala Lumpur. Due to the lack of blood supply back then, he decided to donate his blood in order to save his life, which inspired him to donate more frequently. This was a turning point where he turns his grief and made it a lifelong commitment to donate blood once in every 3 months to save other people's lives.
Cerita tu terjadi tahun 2000. Kawan kami terlibat kemalangannya pergi tabung darah negara Kuala Lumpur. Saya dah susah nak dapat derma. Saya boleh bantu tapi saya darah O. Kebetulan kawan kami pun darah O juga. Bolehlah tolong supaya kami derma darah supaya nya pun susah nak dapat penderma mas saya nang susah lah.
He further stated that he could not afford to offer financial donation, but he hopes that his tiny contribution will help save a life. Azlan, who has type O blood, is also an apheresis, plasma and platelets donor and plans to continue till he dies. He also urged his family members to frequently donate blood.
Kami galakkan anak kami dengan isteri kami lah. Derma darah sebab apa? Kami madah dengannya. Kita nak bantu daripada segi kewangan susah. Itu adalah satu jalan kita membantu masyarakat untuk menyelamatkan nyawa.
Surprisingly for Azlan, donating blood comes with many health benefits with few risks.
Sebenarnya derma darah tu kami orang takut sebenarnya. Tak ada masalah. Derma darah sebenarnya bagus untuk kesihatan kita. Masaya kita tahu tekanan darah kita berapa, cukup rehat sikit. Kandungan darah hemoglobin dalam darah kita boleh derma sikit, kita sihat sikit. Tapi alhamdulillah selamat tu sejak ambil derma darah si pernah ada sakit yang pelik-pelik lah, berat lah risiko. Maksudnya macam darah tinggi si pernah lah. Okey lah, tak ada masalah.
Today, he was awarded by the Sarawak General Hospital SGH Blood Bank for his amazing milestone at the blood donation campaign held in conjunction with the 215th Police Day at Farleigh Mall, Kuching on Tuesday morning.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri YAAKOB gave assurance that Malaysia is on the right path to reviving its economy as well as strengthening foreign ties that had been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. As such, efforts to visit Thailand, Brunei and Singapore has been initiated in the effort to re-establish ties with the countries mentioned.
The Prime Minister's visit to Middle East, such as Qatar and United Arab Emirates, was vital in attracting foreign investments to help the country's economic recovery efforts as planned.
Qatar ni dari segi dagangan kita tidak begitu memberansangkan lagi. Ya. Tadi saya berjumpa dengan wakil business community di sini, ada 10 syarikat besar yang kita berjumpa tadi untuk memberikan ruang pada mereka untuk melabur di negara kita. Bukan setakat dari segi investment, dari segi trade kita pun agak tidak begitu besar. Jadi kalau boleh kita nak mengeratkan, bukan saja mengeratkan dari segi hubungan diplomatik antara Malaysia dengan Qatar, tetapi dari segi dagangan pun kita akan tingkatkan.
He said so during a meeting with members of Malaysian family in Doha, Qatar on Monday night that was attended by approximately 200 Malaysians. Meanwhile, there are approximately 4,580 Malaysians of various races in Qatar, comprising businessmen and professionals in various fields including management, technical, engineering as well as the oil and gas industry. This is Ismail Sabri's first official visit to Qatar after being sworn in as Malaysia's 9th Prime Minister on August 21st last year.
Before the country transitioned into the endemic phase beginning April 1st, the Ministry of Health MOH has forwarded the recommendation that unvaccinated children should immediately be vaccinated under the National COVID-19 Immunization Program for Children or PICKIDS. This move aims to ensure that children aged 5 to 12 were protected from severe COVID-19 infection and complications.
Deputy Health Minister Datuk Dr. Nora Azmi Ghazali urged parents to register their children as dependents in the MySejahtera application to get a vaccination appointment or walk in to the designated vaccination centres (PPV). Nur Azmi said parents who bring their children to PPV on working days will be given a time slip as a proof that they had brought their children to be vaccinated. As of yesterday, a total of 1,315,497 children aged 5 to 11 or 37.1% of the child population in Malaysia have received the first dose of the vaccine under PICKIDS.
Now, the post-COVID-19 recovery strategy must include innovative digital technologies and business models for Malaysia to become more resilient as the country transitions into the endemic phase. Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Zahidi Zainul Abidin said the current digital environment and businesses have become increasingly more dependent on digital technology.
Zahidi said the government will also continue to invest in digital infrastructure, including the 5G rollout, in which new networks support a massive number of connected devices and are expected to be much faster, reliant, and efficient. He said the power and potential of 5G capabilities go way beyond enabling super-fast video streaming with zero lag and full-length movie downloads within seconds. However, Zahidi said the opportunities that came with digitalization posed various threats globally, and Malaysia was not exempted as the internet and digital technology was considered a double-edged sword, which can be used for both good and bad purposes. He said emerging cyber threats have become a lot more sophisticated, posing serious risk and challenges to individuals and nations. He added there was a need to have resilience in the corporate sector, and the baseline for resilience in the digital economy was cybersecurity.
Now on to some global affairs. 3 people died and 5 were injured on March 28 after a light aircraft crashed inside a supermarket in central Mexico.
The accident occurred at around 13:15 hours in Morelos State, located 59 kilometers south of Mexico City. Emergency workers arrived at the scene where they assisted the 5 injured people, 4 of whom were shopping at the supermarket when the aircraft crashed.
Se hizo en primera instancia el aseguramiento del área para verificar que no hubiera combustible derramado que podía poner en predicamento en riesgo a nuestros rescatistas. Se aseguró el área en ese sentido y se comenzaron con las labores de rescate de las personas que estaban lastimadas, lesionadas, que fueron 4. Me reportan de una quinta persona, todavía estamos en esa situación de verificar los datos. 3 personas desafortunadamente perdieron la vida.
Authorities said the 4 people on board the aircraft took off from Acapulco in Guerrero State and headed to Puebla. 3 of them were killed in the accident and the other person is being treated. Morelos Prosecutor's Office and Civil Aeronautics will investigate the causes that led to the accident.
Now wrapping up the Nightline, residents of the war-struck city in Ukraine reminisce how good their lives were before the war erupted. Some lost their sole place to live, while others lost treasures that could last a lifetime.
Была прекраснейшая жизнь, просто прекраснейшая. Прекраснейшие пенсии. У детей была прекрасная работа. Оба работали с зятья на Ильича. Сейчас у нас нет вообще ничего, понимаете? Вообще ничего. Вот, мы остались бомжи, просто бомжи. Все разбили, нам идти некуда.
Irina is huddling with 7 other family members. Food supply is scarce, she said, consisting of 2 buckets of potatoes and a bucket of onions, which were found by accident. Until only of recent times did a good Samaritan open a warehouse with frozen fish.
Он схватил вот так вот в охапку этих 8 рыбин. 7 рыбин, да. И еще там мойвы там чуть-чуть. Вот. Это мы будем 4 дня варить суп. Понимаете? 4 дня на 8 человек. Потому что еды нет вообще уже никакой. Ну вы сами понимаете.
Another Mariupol resident was not as lucky as Irina, as he had lost what had been so close to his heart.
37 лет городосапожником работал, остался без ничего. Ни мастерской, ничего. Ни работы. Как-то надо держаться. Что делать? Надо.
On Monday, the city's mayor Vadim Boychenko stated there are 160,000 citizens still trapped in the southern port city of Ukraine. People in Mariupol were evacuated in time to escape a humanitarian catastrophe.
And that concludes the Nightline for tonight. With that, I'm Handy Gui. Stay safe and have a pleasant evening.